Did you know that it is now bigoted for lesbians to not want to have sex with trans women that are still biologically men? Pre-op trans women, I should say. Apparently it is, because we've apparently completely forgotten what the definition of a lesbian is. Suck the feminine penis, bigot! Yes, for those of you who are unaware, the LGBTQIA barbecue plus whatever community is hardly a unanimous block. In fact, in a lot of cases, they're not particularly fond of each other. More specifically, from what I gather, what little research I could do by being a pompadour wearing 50s dad, it seems to be the LGBs against the various others. You got the cisgender alphabet people against the other alphabet people. Your trans people and your non-binaries and your, weirdo Hellraiser people. To explain this, I should first refer to an article written by some sapphists. I don't remember her name. I could open it up, but I don't want to. The article said I didn't want to be called, scare quotes, queer, but they called me that anyway. Indeed, it seems that the queer community was against this woman because she was a lesbian who wanted to, shock and awe, hang out with other lesbians. Yeah, who would have thought that lesbians wanted to hang out with other lesbians and date other lesbians? And I quote, I was applauded for conforming to stereotypical butch lesbianism until I said that I wanted to find a girlfriend. My homosexuality was only celebrated on a surface level. When I wanted to do anything more than that, they became uneasy. Another direct quote, it's like hanging out with conservatives, but with more glitter and even more self-righteousness. So why is this happening specifically to, shall we say, fans of softball and Melissa Etheridge? Well, apparently it started with redefining lesbian to be inclusive of men who are attracted to and identify as women. Yes, we have to redefine lesbian to include men. Autogynephilia, what's that? It became taboo to be same-sex attracted, redefining such a thing as a problematic genital preference and sexual apartheid. Ultimately, what this ends up with is you have lesbians being forced to sleep with pre-op transsexuals, because otherwise that would be discriminating against trans women. And yes, I believe I've mentioned in other live streams that quite a lot of trans people bitching and moaning revolves around them not being able to find sexual partners. So therefore, we're going to legislate sexual desire. Yeah, that's the ticket. No, you are not attracted to who you're attracted to. You need to be bullied and legislated into finding me attractive. Meh. Again, they're forcing lesbians to have sex with men. Like, do we not understand that lesbians don't like penises? Like, how are we failing this very basic definition? This is not a difficult concept. I mean, we've become so woke that we've looped around and we've gone back to that old cliche about, lesbians, they just haven't found the right dick yet. They need to find the real man. See, this is what James Bond should have done in the original novel of Goldfinger. So for those of you who aren't aware of what happens there, and they kind of imply this in the movie too, but it's much more explicit in the novel. I mean, he essentially sexually assaults Pussy Galore into being a heterosexual, which is as bad apparently. See, but if James Bond had just identified himself as a male lesbian, that would be woke and progressive. It's a damn shame Ian Fleming didn't think about that beforehand. But I like the convergence of ideals here. Cutting-edge queer theorists and hardline reactionary aristocrats, together at last, shaking hands over the common goal of forcing lesbians to get that dick in their mouth. Female suffrage has created a generation of bisexual misfits. I don't think it's good to smack a woman, but occasionally the situation merits it, you see, Barbara. Yeah, one of those is a direct quote by Sean Connery. I mean, look, I'm about as heterosexual as a dude can get. But with many things, I am essentially libertarian, and I support people doing as they will, and that certainly means that nobody can be forced to have sex with or date somebody that they don't want to. And yes, I realize that I'm basically giving a slightly more vulgar interpretation of that Sonic the Hedgehog PSA about, someone touches you in a place or way that's uncomfortable. That's no good. But you know what? Sonic was right. That was like the early 90s, and god damn it, Sonic was right. It's your body. Nobody can touch you if you don't want it. First you say no, and then you get out of there. Why don't we listen to Sonic? He was slinging some good advice there. He taught the kids not to climb into washing machines and stuff. And really, sexual apartheid? I thought sexual apartheid was when short brown men complained about white girls not wanting to date them. For all the blind hatred the wokies give to the incels, they're kind of converging into the same mindset of, I can bully people into having sex with me. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. 99% of identity politics revolves around sexually frustrated people feeling entitled to some good dick or some good vag and being furious if they can't get it. So they attempt to upend society so they can get the good stuff. Think about it. Whether you got the trans people trying to bully lesbians into having sex with them, fat women trying to force society to see them as beautiful, or the incels demanding their government-mandated girlfriends, it's all the same thing. You're trying to force people to like you. You're trying to legislate sexual desire. And look, you think I don't know the pain? Look, I'm Asian. I've been in your damn shoes, okay? I mean, all Asian identity politics revolves around this, as I've discussed many times. But you know what I did? I hit the gym. I studied, full contact martial arts. I learned how to dress and style myself. I learned how to play music. I made myself somebody that some women might want to have sex with. I didn't sit around with no muscles and a bowl cut whining about, nobody wants to have sex with me. Society should be upended so I'm sexy without having to do any work. You cannot legislate sexual desire. All you can do is make yourself as desirable as you can and hope for the best. I've said this so many times, and I ought to put it on a t-shirt. No man has any business being below a 5. Anybody can be, at the very least, average looking with some basic hygiene, a little exercise, cleaning up your face and getting some effort. But apparently, the trannies don't understand that. Maybe because those who become trans before going through a natural puberty are essentially chemically castrating themselves, so they have no idea what it's like to have an orgasm or be sexually stimulated. I mean, these people may genuinely not know what it's like to feel sexual desire or release. I mean, that's something I've read as well, but you didn't hear about that, of course. Okay, but let me fill you in, trans people, and everybody else who wants to legislate sexual desire. Try as you might, you cannot force people to be sexually attracted to any one thing. Whether you're a transgender, a fat girl, a chinless incel, whining about millimeters of bone, whatever. You cannot bully people into liking you. Sexual attraction is a gut amygdala hindbrain reaction. If you can't get the good with your looks, find another way. I don't know what it is. Tell some jokes, learn how to play guitar, get swole. You got to find what works for you. I mean, it's not a cut and dry thing. There's no one simple trick, despite what the PUA hacks will tell you. Speaking for myself, a combination of swole plus, artsy fartsy music stuff, in my case, I mean, I have no drawing talent at all, but if I did, I would use that. But that works wonders. Swole plus art. I mean, speaking of music, you don't even have to learn that many songs. I've always said you really only need to have 3 songs memorized on standby. You need a fast, upbeat song, a romantic song, and a sad song. I even tell this to my students, actually, my music students, much of the consternation of their parents. Just do something to make yourself desirable. Because whining about your sexual undesirability and trying to bitch your way into being a sexual winner, that ain't cutting it. It will never cut it.
And now, a word from our sponsors. Hello, are you a fan of Larson Halleck and the Barbaric Gentleman? Of course you are, otherwise you wouldn't be watching. Would you like to help the channel grow? Here's how you can. You can go to patreon.com and pledge some money, joining the ranks of the illustrious heroes you'll find at the end of the video. You can also go to paypal.me/LarsonHalleck to give me some money, or you can follow me on social media, @LarsonHalleck on Twitter and Instagram. I don't use right-wing grifter sites like Gab and Parler because they suck. You can also buy my books. The links to do so are in the video description. And of course, please subscribe and spread the word. That name again is Larson Halleck, and I hope you enjoyed the video.